Hey, welcome back, Magic fans and gamers in general. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG, and today I'm gonna go over something I found on the internet that's been floating around. It's about 5 days old. I didn't know this was happening, but apparently at Gamma Expo, I'm gonna say is the word. Lorcana had a presentation about its card game, its new TCG coming out, how it's going to handle it, along with lots of other things. So I'd like to go over that real quick and have a quick conversation. This should only take about 10 minutes, because I think this is an interesting. How should I say this? It's going to be an interesting case study of card games in general, along with the yay and naysayers of the reserve list and other things that Magic has done in the past. So, before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 peeps. I appreciate all your help. So, obviously, you can see here. If you want to go here and check the article out yourself, you can. But I'm going to run through it for you real quick. So, you can see here their presentation at Gamma Expo was for the gaming industry partners. This one was laid out by Lorcana's designer Ryan Miller and Steve Warner. Shows these guys here. It shows them showing some product. So the presentation was held initially in a smaller room, but due to too many people interested in attending, they actually moved it to a bigger room. So there, right now, it starts off. There's lots of interest in the card game, so that's a good thing. Now from there, we break down the presentation. We start with starter decks. So there will be around 20 more or less unique cards in the starter decks, with some cards having multiples of 2 or 3. All right, that's about average. I mean, it is what it is, right? Booster packs. So in a booster pack, each pack will contain at least 2 rares or higher rarity cards. So kind of a flesh and blood stylish packaging. Every pack will also include a foil card of any rarity. Every card will have a foil version, so including the 2 high rarity slots and the foil slots, it is possible to pull 3 legendary cards in a single pack. Booster boxes will be sealed with paper pull tabs that will require you to destroy the box to access packs, preventing resealing. So, a lot of this to unpack. I like it a lot. However, 2 rares in a pack or higher, possibly 3 if you look at downward bottom where you can get to foils. These feel a lot like set boosters already. And I think that's because they're trying to make this more readily accessible, flood the market faster, and get people playing faster. I'm not sure that's the right way to go. I think they should keep it more pulled back and let people learn the game before they let the market flood to see if they're going to have, let's say, the support from the market that they want. Now, every card will have a foil version. That's what Magic already does, and it causes a lot of bulk. I don't think it's a bad thing, but every card having a foil version again takes away from it being special. So, yeah, but at some point, I think you do need that. Now, the fact that the booster boxers are sealed with paper pull tabs, I think, is just out of this park phenomenal and a great move. And I'd like to see more people, including Magic, start going to that so that boxes cannot be resealed. And if that pull tab is damaged, then guess what? Your box is considered open and it's worth less. I think that's a great move. Now, next, releases. The LGS will be getting Disney Lorcana products for at least the first 6 sets. I don't like how it says that. It says the LGS will be getting Lorcana products for at least the first 6 sets. What after that? Are you going to stop doing LGS releases? Like, you're going to start selling locally? Because next it says Lorcana team has spoken to Target regarding street dates for release and believe Target will honor the street dates. So if they're telling me LGSs only get the first 6, are they going to go to big box after that and LGSs can't use it? I don't like that. The Lorcana team dropped the first edition markings on the cards to discourage hoarding. So this is the first red flag to me right here in the fact that they don't want this to be a collectible game. It's just a playable game. And if it's just a playable game, that means there doesn't need to be foils or any of this other stuff because there'll be no value. Because it's not collectible. So there's red flag number 1 for me. I've skimmed through some of this already. Next, Ravensburg mentioned that they underestimated demand for the first chapter, but are working hard to print more, and they will reprint as they feel needed. So, because what this basically means, this is print to demand, which a lot of collectors hate. Now, players will like it because it'll make things super cheap. But we got that in Magic after everybody bitched about it for so long, and look at it now. Now everybody's realizing that's not what they want because everything is cheap. Nobody wants to buy anything. So again, not a good move because they should have a second printing. And since none of the printings is able to tell which is which, there's no value to any of them. What you're going to have here is another jump start scenario. People are going to pay buttloads of money for these boxes, and as long as the box price stays high, they will print them until the box price collapses, which will piss a lot of people off. Next, shipping for the first chapter will be done in 2 weeks. Okay, there will be no reserve list, and any card can be reprinted with no cards held in reserve to help more Lorcana availability to everyone while keeping prices down. Here's another thing. So, like I mentioned, this is going to test whether or not the reserve list is necessary. From what I'm seeing, everybody hates how much Wizards does reprints. What they're already coming out and telling you guys is they will reprint as much as they want, no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it, and no way to tell apart an old card from a newer card. Now, that was a big thing back in the day when Wizards tried to do a lot of reprints on the older set stuff, and people who wanted to collect the cards for value, and the values crashed, caused lots of lawsuits, legal actions, people threatening legal actions, and is one of the reasons we have the reserve list now. And as much as you don't like it, it does protect the value of those cards. We see in Magic where reprints constantly dive card prices, which is fine for people to play with, right? Good example, right now, fetch lands that used to be $50, $60, $70, $100, they're like $10 a piece. And that's great for people who want to play, but it's not good for people who invested in those cards or kept those cards hoping to sell them later after they played with them. And you can take that one way or the other, right? But let's think about it like this. You have the card style, but then look at it. How many people here bitch about GameStop and how much they pay you for your video games? This is the same principle. If there's nothing special about anything and it's going to be cheap, and you're paying $100, $200 for Lorcana box, and the cards in there are never going to be worth more than $50, why would you buy the box? Because think about it. If you can't open the box to get cards out of it worth more or close to the box value, LGSs won't do box openings like they do in Magic. So to begin with, it'll drive the price up until people do open boxes, and then eventually it's going to fall down, especially when people realize that they can't hold these cards for any sort of value. So in long story short, this is going to be a interesting way of, hey, we're not going to do first edition. We're not going to be a collectible card game. We're not going to do a reserve list. We're going to print anything we want, whenever people ask for it, just to get people to play. Different approach. I don't think it's a good idea, but being Disney, if people like it enough, maybe it is, but I just don't see it working out well for them. Tell me in the comment section what you think about that. Now, as far as organized play goes, stores can choose to host regular leagues or tournament-style events. Organized play will be ran in-house, and software to assist store running organized play. The organized play kits will be free to the stores running organized play for Lorcana. Again, something free for the stores. This is something Magic used to do. It was very popular. I think that's a good move. I still am scared when it talks about only the first 6 sets being available to LGSs. After that, then what? Because if the LGS doesn't sell the product, bringing people in to play events for them, if they're not going to make money off of it, is kind of counterproductive when you can run a Magic draft and the store makes money while having the draft or sealed. If Lorcana doesn't have something like that, it's not going to incentivize local LGSs to have these events. Therefore, events won't happen. Therefore, nowhere to play the game. Therefore, no one will want the cards. Therefore, it will collapse. There will be league promos. League promos are foil treated. That will be probably one of the premium cards. Using multiple languages in your decks will be allowed. That's whatever. There will be no pre-release events similar to MTG, as Lorcana team believes there will be a logistics issue. So that also says, again, no events to be had to introduce players like as a draft or a sealed for event releases, you have to go in and be able to ready to play, or the LGS support it for you. Again, not a smart move. I don't think it's going to play out well for them. So some other things here at the bottom. Lorcana has a customer service team to handle card misprint and quality issues. I think they're going to find out that's going to be a lot harder than they think it is. Lorcana team recognize that there are two groups of people interested in playing Lorcana, the players and the collectors, and they are working to make a product that appeals to both. So I think they're doing a good job to appealing to players. However, nothing in this statement here says anything to me they're appealing to collectors. The only thing in here that I see that a collector would want to buy would be league promos, which if you're a collector and you want the league promos, you're going to probably play. And if you are going to buy them, you're not going to pay a whole lot for them because there will be a lot of them out there, because that means every store will get them. And the only way there won't be a lot is if there's not a lot of events going on. If there's not a lot of events going on, then nobody wants them, so they aren't worth a whole lot. It's a half a dozen 160 other kind of scenario. And so that's the breakdown of it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I like a lot of things they're doing with the packaging and things like that. I don't like how they're doing no distinguish between their print runs. The fact that they will print forever because they can. I mean, because imagine what your dual lands. It would be great to have dual lands if they were printed today, right? Yada yada yada. But imagine what that would be like if those dual lands in Magic, like the beta set, for example, was just reprinted every year. None of the boxes, none of the cards would have any value, so nobody would want to collect it. Therefore, it would never get off the ground. Secondly, if that's not the issue, think about this that could happen. What if they do the reprints, but they keep the box value, card values high? Depending on how much the cards are worth, they just instead, when they make the next reprint, raise the MSRP on later boxes, which Wizards does that throughout the year. What's saying they won't? That might help collectors a little bit to hoard boxes when they're cheaper, and then hope they go up because people demand the cards. But that seems very risky in the long term. There's a lot of this I don't like. My first impression is I don't feel, and you can put this on record because I'm okay with being wrong, this is not going to go well, this original plan with them. They have to have different sets. They have to have different additions. They have to have a stopped print run. And they have to have cards that can't be got after a certain amount of time, because if they're always available, then there's nothing of value to them. They're all worth 5 cents. So that means the pack of 15 cards literally should be 50 cents if every card's worth a nickel. That's just how it is, guys. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate your time. Until next time, be kind, guys. And if this is your jam, please feel free to play it. It might be a fun game. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I plan to probably hit it up Gen Con this year, get some demos of it, see what it's like. But with the kind of pricing they have for this box and the products, whatever, I am not comfortable right now even remotely touching this. It feels very toxic until they get it figured out. With that said, Grand Archive's out. Let's go with the TCG player already. I think Grand Archive is doing the right thing. If you haven't seen them, let me know in the comments if you want a more detailed video of what they're doing. But yeah, go check those guys out. Anyway, till next time, be kind. Hope to see you across from the game table.